much talk, especially in my line of work, about the tricks, the tips, the how-tos, what's working, what kind of content is performing well, what's trending, what hashtags, keywords, all this stuff, right? And that's all great and it matters, but none of it matters as much as what we're going to talk about today. And none of that stuff can save you if you don't have what we're going to talk about today. This is the piece that I think really it's like 80% of the puzzle. The 20% is the strategy, the hashtags, the keywords, the content, all of that kind of stuff, the mechanics. This is the other 80%. And sadly, I think that probably 80% of the people trying to do business on social media are missing this piece. So I'm trying to fix that and help more people figure this out so that more people can have their six-figure years. If it's your first six-figure year, I'm going to scream it from the rooftop and celebrate with you. If this is like we're scaling and we're going multi six figures, amazing, amazing. But it's doable, it's possible, and I want more of you. My heart especially is for the more women we can possibly have hitting six figures on their own, the better. That is my goal. So I'm trying to create as many female six-figure CEOs as possible this year. So you guys are in the right place if that's been a goal of yours ever. So just to kind of go over what the plan for today is, and I'll try to be mindful. Am I covering part of you guys up? Can you see the whole screen or am I blocking it? Okay, cool. So what you can kind of expect from today. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the vision, right? It's a really integral, important piece of the pie, getting really, really clear on what you want. Then we're going to talk about belief, and those two are kind of tied together. That's where we start to talk about how we're going to rewire your brain to receive success. We'll go over identity. That honestly is the most important piece of this puzzle. We'll talk about inspired action and then what next steps you can take in order to kind of take this information, and then what does that look like for your business? How do you take this and use it in your social media content and in your business? Okay. Lastly, before we dive in, I had promised some of you that I would give you kind of a sneak peek or a little bit of info about the new offer that's coming in February. It's like a social media management business startup situation. So if you want to stick around at the end, happy to answer questions about that and I'll talk about it, but you absolutely do not have to. It is dealer's choice, or like whatever you say. Tracy would know a better analogy for that, I'm sure. Okay. So if we haven't met, hi, I'm Brienne Williams. And really more than anything else, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend. I own a social media agency that I run from home, and I've built it from scratch. But basically my goal is to help people grow and make sales from social media. So whether that's a small business owner or a stay-at-home mom / entrepreneur, that is what I am doing with my life. So really though, I am proof that what we're going to talk about today works. And you'll know a little bit more about what I'm talking about here in a second, but I promise you that as we go through this, there's going to be moments where you're like, okay, whatever, really, or seriously, no way that works. Or you're going to roll your eyes and you're going to go, I don't know about that. Let me just squash that right now and tell you that I promise you this works because I'm living proof of it. And I'll explain. So some of you know my backstory, and I'm not going to get like wildly deep into it. But long story short, in 2020, I was in the middle of a super messy, ugly divorce. It was public. It was a thing. And it was bad. And the pandemic was going on and all of these things, right? So I had to go out and get a real job to support my children, to take care of us, right? We ended up leaving the home that I owned and moving into the basement of my parents' house. I was 40 years old. So like, it was tough, right? But at that time, January of 2020, I started this journey. And I sat down at my desk at my then 9 to 5, and I started doing what I'm going to show you how to do today. and I made it a daily habit. Every single morning, I started doing this practice. And within, I promise you, about 2 weeks' time, everything started to change. All the things that I was like praying for, hoping for, wanting to see change in my life were happening. And it was happening at such a rapid pace that it was like a little mind blowing. Fast forward 4 years later, that same girl who had to go and figure it out living in her parents' basement, yada, 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 has built a multi six-figure business on my own that now I get to help other women do that same thing, right? So this works. I promise this works. Okay. Oh, somebody's not muted. Oh, let me see. There we go. Gotcha. Okay, I think I got everybody. Did I mute? Okay, awesome. Uh-oh, hold on. Where'd my people go? There. You guys, bear with me. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I can't see you guys now. Where did you go? This is my problem when I click on anything in Zoom. It's like I lose half of my windows. Where did you go? Hold on. I just want to be able to see your faces. It makes this way more fun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my goodness, y'all.
Are you doing Canva presentation?
Yeah, but that's where I was before. I got you here. I just can't minimize you guys. My screen. New meeting. Ta-da. Let's see. Let's try this. Let's share again. Stop share. Let's try one more time. That'll do it. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Now I see ya. There we go. Thanks for being patient with me. Okay. Okay. So the problem that I see, like in my one-on-one calls, in group coaching calls, the problem that I see honestly 80 to 90% of people struggling with when it comes to social media growth, when it comes to actually making money from social media or making money in your business, period. Like you might have the greatest offer ever, but nobody's buying it or nobody's watching your content. Nobody's engaging, commenting, all of it. You're not growing at all. And the biggest problem I see is this, right? We're operating from this completely broken model. Okay. We're trying to do all these things that just simply aren't working. So this is the broken model. And hopefully this makes sense to you guys. You're operating from a place of once I have this, then I'll do that and I'll finally be this. Right? So once I have 10,000 followers, then I'll launch that thing and I'll have my six-figure business. Or once I have, once I have more money, then I'll take that course or then I'll invest in my business and I'll finally be able to be successful or I'll finally be able to leave my 9 to 5. Anybody resonate with that? Does that sound familiar? So that doesn't work. That's what we call perfectionism and procrastination. And it doesn't work. Okay. It is not going to get you to the finish line and certainly not going to make it a short trip. Here's the other thing that we see. You might be switching these first two. So maybe you're going, if I just do more, then I'll have the thing I need in order to be successful. I just need to do more. I need to post 4 times a day. I need to sell more offers. I need to take another 5 courses or certifications before I'm willing to show up, right? I need to do more so that I have the things that I need or the credentials I need or the followers I need in order to have the business I want to be successful, right? That doesn't work either. That's what we call hustle, right? And hustle is not going to make it happen. Okay. This is the order it needs to be in. We call it the be, do, have model. And some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with this. I didn't come up with this. This has been around, but it is It works and it's true. And I promise it works. So it works like this. Once you become the version of who you need to be in order to have a six-figure business, once you are that person, then you'll start doing the things that that person does to have that business, and you will have the success that you're seeking, right? So I need to become the version of myself that already has that thing in order to start doing the habits and actions required to have what I want, and then I will have it. Does that make sense? Are you guys still with me? And I lost my chat somewhere along the way. Where is my chat? Let's see if I can find you guys again. I might just have you holler if you have a question because I can't see the chat. It's all good. Okay. There it is. Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay. So that's really important. And honestly, that's like the crux of all of this is we need to become the version of ourselves that already has the thing we want in order to have it, right? So that we've got to stop asking, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? The question we need to be asking is, who do I need to become? That's the difference. Asking yourself the question, who do I need to become in order to make this happen, in order to be this or have this, right? And it's not just business. This is in any facet of your life. The same rules apply here. So that when we're living in that be, do, have framework, we're in alignment. Okay, beautiful word, alignment. Alignment equals ease. Okay, I'm not ever going to imply that being an entrepreneur, building your own business, getting to six figures, growing your Instagram, I'm never going to tell you that it's easy, but you are allowed to have ease in your business and it is allowed to be simple. Okay, alignment equals ease. So the first step of this process is really understanding the vision, right? We can't get to our destination if we don't know where the heck we're going, right? You could just drive in circles all day and never end up anywhere. So the vision is step one. And the vision really is the point of the workbook I sent you. So if you haven't found it yet, you can always shoot me an email and I can resend it to you. It's really simple. It's the most basic PDF situation in the world. But it's literally the exact sheets I made 4 years ago. And I still have my ones from then. Like, they work. The things that were on my sheets from 4 years ago are my life today. It's crazy. Okay, so I call this my I ams. Okay, this is, again, nothing new. This is kind of stuff has been around forever and ever. This is just my take on it. Okay, so these are my I ams. So this is the workbook you got. There's going to be these sheets, right? You can see it in the middle. I created a couple of them for you. They're duplicates, so you don't have to print a bunch of them because you're going to want copies. So you can either start out with the sheets I gave you or grab yourself a notebook, a journal, whatever, and jot the categories down on your own journal, your own piece of paper, and write it that way. My preference is always going to be for you to do this with an actual like pencil or pen, like hand writing it versus typing it into your notes. Notes is better than nothing, but handwriting is always going to win. Okay, so this right here is the the daily practice that I started doing 4 years ago that completely changed my life. Okay, it's the I ams. So for each one of these boxes and the business templates have social media, offers, team, sales. I can't remember what the other two are on here, but it's broken down, right? For different aspects of your business. So what you do is you go into your sheet and you start writing down. It's almost like writing down your goals, but you're writing them as if they are already happening, right? So rather than saying, I want to get to 10,000 followers by December 31st, 2025, you're going to write, I have 10,000 followers, or I get 10,000 more followers this year, or in offers, instead of saying, I get more clarity about what I want to offer to my audience. It's I've got my signature offer lined up and ready to go, and people are buying it like hotcakes. It's in present tense, as if it's already happening. That part is like not negotiable, super, 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 super important. Okay. This is how we create the vision. So in the beginning, this is going to feel so trivial and so silly and so simple. And I promise you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so lame. This doesn't work. Like you're going to roll your eyes. You're going to be like, whatever. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Okay. Because what happens is we're stretching your mind and your subconscious mind's ability to dream and to think bigger, right? When I've done this with people in the past, you'll see when you get through your workbook, there's a whole section that's like your personal life. It's a holistic view of your whole life. And if you want to just do those, do it. One of the categories on those sheets is travel and adventures. Okay. So what would happen is people would start writing out, like the first week, they're like, I take my family on a Disney vacation. Great. That's a great goal. It's a great dream, right? But it's really small. So what happens is as you continue to do this, by week 2 or week 3, that has changed into we fly first class to Disney this year, or we fly first class and stay in our favorite resort in a suite. And then maybe on the next week, it's grown even more and you've got the VIP tour guide. Like you keep stretching your brain's ability to think bigger and dream bigger. And that's really, really important. That's a big piece of this puzzle. Okay. So part of the process, that's the vision. You also have to have the belief with the vision. These two things go together and they cannot be, they don't work without one another. So for the belief part, I need you to trust that it's already happening, right? This is my Kate Hudson. I love this movie. Like when she says it's all happening, right? In Almost Famous, it's already happening. If you're believing it, if God gave you that dream, it is already happening. Okay. I use Amazon as a really great analogy for this. When I order something on Amazon Prime, I just order it and assume that it's going to show up either today or tomorrow or the next day. I don't go back into my phone and like, oh my God, did they get my order? Did they remember that I asked for that? Are they going to come? Do they know where to find me? Like, I don't have to do that. I trust that Amazon knows where I live. They're going to bring the package. It's on its way, right? I'm sure you guys are the same. Maybe not at Christmas time, but most of the time. The next part of belief is looking for the evidence that it is already working. Okay, this part is really important and really easy to forget because it's really easy to start looking at the things that are going wrong and looking at, well, my numbers haven't changed, or I haven't made a sale yet, or I don't know if this is working, or what's the point? Nobody even comments. Nobody even sees my stuff. Okay. That's looking for evidence that it's not working. And if you're looking at that, you're going to be shown more of the same. What I mean is, if I'm going to look at all the reasons why my business is failing or stalling or flatlining and it's not working and nobody, like I'm doing the same things they are, but it's not working for me, then I'm telling the universe, I'm telling myself, my subconscious mind, that that's what I want to see more of. Okay. This is a very, a neuroscience concept called the reticular activating system, your RAS. And you may have heard this explained as the red car theory.
Get your money back. Get cash.
If you're unmuted, whoever that is, if y'all could just mute, that'd be awesome. So the red car theory works like this. You go shopping for a brand new sports car and you find this red car that is like so sexy, so fast, so luxurious. And you're like, I've got to have this car. But you're going to go home and think about it for a little bit. Or maybe they have to order it. So you go home and you're driving through your neighborhood, and all of a sudden, all of your neighbors have red cars too. And you're like, what? When did she get a red car? And when did everybody get red cars? They didn't. They've had them the whole time. It just wasn't important to you yet. You told your brain that that red car was important to you and you wanted it. So now your brain is showing you all the red cars that were there the whole time. Has that ever happened to you? Where like you want this purse and then you go and you look at it and you try it on and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want that bag. And then suddenly everywhere you go, every other girl in your town has the bag. They didn't just go out and buy it. They've had it the whole time. You just weren't noticing because it wasn't important to your subconscious mind yet. Another way of thinking about this, and this is really interesting given what we're here for, isn't that kind of how the algorithm works? If we start searching something on Instagram, what does Instagram assume? That we want to see more of it. They assume that that's important to us. So what do? They show us more content just like that. Our subconscious mind is like the Instagram algorithm. We tell it what we want to see more of, and it provides, which is great as long as we're in control of what we're telling it, right? Because it can be really, really negative too. It'll show you whatever you tell it, good or bad. It's kind of cool if you think about it. You can go down a rabbit hole. The other part of belief is letting go of the outcome, right? We get to decide the what, we get to set the goal, we get to have the dream, but the when and the how are God's business. It's not our business. We don't determine the timeline, and we don't necessarily determine how it happens. That's God's business. Our business is just to go, here's what I really am going for. Here's my goal. Here's what I'm going to actively put my energy behind and pray about and dream about. And then we got to trust that everything else is going to work itself out the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we're trusting that it's already happening. We're looking for the evidence to support that it is working. And we're letting go of the outcome and the timeline. Okay, all right. Okay, so when I started this 4 years ago, this verse was like my mantra. It was all over my car, my mirrors, my laptop. I had Post-its everywhere I was throughout the day with this verse scattered everywhere. Mark 11:24. I'm a Christian. If you're not, it's okay. You can read this too. It says, whatever you've asked for in prayer, believe you have received it and it will be yours. Okay, but I want you to notice something. In this verse, the way it's written, this is literally the way it is in the Bible. It says, whatever you've asked for in prayer, believe you have received, past tense, received, and it will be yours. So we're believing that we have already received it in order to get it. Really important detail. It's not believe that you will receive it. It's believe that you already have. Do you see the difference? Really, really important distinction. If you can adopt this what's on the screen right now as your mantra and understand and trust and believe it, not only is your business going to change, I can pretty much promise you that your life is going to change. Because everything is already happening. It's already working out for you. Okay. Super, super important. It's kind of my favorite. Okay. Step 2, this is really my favorite. Okay. Identity. Okay. Who do you need to become in order to have the life and the business you desire? Who do you need to become in order to have the life and business that you desire? Your identity is who you believe that you are on a subconscious level. Okay. You can put on the prettiest outfit, have your hair and makeup done, be glammed up and like gorgeous. You can be, driving the fanciest car, living in the best neighborhood, all those things. and still be broken at a subconscious level. Doesn't matter who you say you are, doesn't matter what appearance you put on. It's what matters is who you are at a subconscious level if we're trying to achieve success. So if you're like, well, how do you know what you believe on a subconscious level? If it's subconscious, doesn't that mean that I'm like not like aware of it? Yes, but here's how you know. It's the sum of all of the stories that we've been told ourselves, or believed about ourselves our entire life. Okay, some of this stuff starts way, way, way back when we were itty bitty. Some of it starts in our young adult life. Some of it starts as a mom, as a wife, when you first get into business, and we start telling ourselves stories. Sometimes they're true and good and productive, and sometimes they are completely destructive. If we tell ourselves a story that, like, we're no good at this, that we suck at sales, that we fail at every business we start, blah, 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 eventually, over time, we will start to believe it. Okay. So, like I just said, over time, the stories we are told or we tell ourselves become our identity, whether they're true or not. This is why words matter. Words matter, thoughts matter. All of these things matter more than anything, more than I can possibly express to you over a computer screen. So if you're, again, like, how do I know what that is, what my subconscious identity is? All you have to do is look at your life. Look in the mirror. Look at your business. Look at your current circumstances, because they are a byproduct of who you have believed you are. I know we're getting like super deep and a little woo, but I promise it's good. I promise it's all good. Right? Your current circumstances are a result of all of the beliefs that you hold about yourself. Yeah. If you believe that you can't lose weight, that it always comes back, guess what? That's probably true. Okay. Here's some evidence. This is just the identity wins every time, but yes, it does. Okay. So here's some evidence. Okay. You cannot outtrain, outwork, outwill your subconscious identity. It will win every time, whether you want it to or not. Here's some examples of this. Okay. Lottery winners. Have you ever seen these stories or these stories on the news, these studies? The people who win these like mega millions, giant jackpots, 70% of them end up bankrupt. And it's usually within like a couple of years. Because at a subconscious level, they believe that they're not good at handling money. They don't know how to deal with money. They believe that they're stuck at this income level. So they will do anything they can subconsciously to stay at that level. They'll squander their money. They'll give it away. They'll buy really silly things that they don't need. They'll waste it. They'll gamble it. They'll, just to get back to where their subconscious mind feels safe. Unhealthy relationships, same thing, right? You may have a friend or been in this situation yourself where you go back time and time again because it's what's safe. It's what your subconscious identity has told you deserve. Same thing with weight loss. It's why there is a diet industry that is like billions and billions and billions of dollars, because yo-yo dieting happens because of that. I mean, there's other things at play, but that's a big part of it. This is another great way to express to you how important your subconscious identity is. Okay. I identify on every level, subconscious and conscious, as a non-smoker. I don't smoke. Okay. So there's no part of my brain that identifies as a smoker. So if you offer me a cigarette or whatever, I'm going to be like, no, I don't do that. Why would I? No, thanks. It's really hard for somebody who doesn't identify as that to pick up a cigarette. Do you see what I'm saying? Same thing with business, with money. Okay. Sorry, I went a little bit off on a tangent, but it's important. Okay, so here's the good news. This is really important. You get a chance to rewire your subconscious mind and rewrite the way your story ends. You're not stuck with these old stories and limiting beliefs and things you just grew up with and blah, blah, blah. You get to rewire it and rewrite the ending. Thank you, God. Thank you for that, right? So this is where neurohacking comes in. And this stuff is so cool. It is fascinating. So these are just little pieces of what I would consider neurohacking. They're things that I do. They're things that have worked for me personally, that have worked for some of my students. We're talking about nervous system regulation, hypnosis and meditation, breath work, subconscious reprogramming, EFT, if you're familiar with that, NLP, and accountability. All of these things support neurohacking, right? Which is just a fancy way of saying rewiring that subconscious part of your brain so that it can get on board with the vision that you've been building and creating. It has to be on your team, playing for you to win. So what I don't want you to think is that neurohacking is just like thinking positive thoughts and like having a good mindset. That's not it. It's not it at all. Those things are great, but it is way more than that, right? Of course, I want you to have a positive mindset. Of course, I want you to be an optimist and think positive. Yes, but we got to go deeper than that if we want to hit our 6-figure goal. We got to go deeper. And in order to go deeper, you're going to need some tools. Okay. I'm just checking the chat here real quick. Da-da-da. Delane says, you're so right about subconscious identity. They're saying you are what you eat falls over you are what you believe. Yeah, totally. 100%. Okay. So the third piece of this is inspired action. Okay. And this is the juicy piece. This is where that soul alignment meets up with strategy. This is where manifesting and mindset meets marketing. Okay. These two things coming together is what's responsible for every bit of my success. They don't work independently of one another, and you can't force one to do the entire job. It just doesn't work that way. And if you've been in business for longer than 6 months and ever felt that like, oh my God, I'm like spinning my wheels, or like it just feels like I'm like beating my head against a wall, forcing a square peg into a round hole, it's because one of these things is not working with you. You probably had all strategy and you were just hustling your way. Well, this is the launch method and this is how we do it. And I've got my funnels and my, SEO and everything's blah, 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 blah. And you're like, well, why isn't it working? Why is nobody buying? Or you're only sitting in the soul alignment part of it. And you're like, I believe that my buyers are coming. Why haven't they shown up? Like and you're like, because they don't even know how to buy from you. You haven't set up systems to communicate with them and deliver what you're talking to them about. We need both of those pieces. That's where the magic happens. That is where we become the 6-figure CEO version of ourselves. The 6-figure version of ourselves who already has the life and the business that we've been dreaming about. It's going to be, part of this is like having radical responsibility for your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your habits, radically being responsible for all of these things. In order to hit this goal this year, you're going to need 6-figure CEO habits, actions, thoughts. You need a 6-figure CEO strategy. You need 6-figure CEO content, six-figure CEO community, or six-figure, apparently I left out the R, and a six-figure CEO accountability. All of these things are going to be required if you actually, at this time next year, want to be going, I can't believe this happened. I'm like freaking out. I hit my goal. My life has literally changed. So like I said, you need both the soul and the strategy, the mindset and the marketing, right? And I want to pause for a second and just say, like, I don't want you guys to get so caught up on like six figures being the end all be all, right? Like making six figures is wonderful and it can totally change your life. And I want that for every single one of you, for every single woman in the world. But that cannot be the sole purpose of what you're doing. You need a deeper why and a deeper purpose behind what you're doing, because I can tell you this, the number is never going to do it for you. Here's what I mean by that. You might have a small social media following right now, and you're like, I am going to feel like the biggest champion on the planet if I can just get to 10,000 followers. Like I'll know I've made it if I hit 10K. Guess what? You're going to hit 10K and you're going to be like, oh, okay, well now I need to get to 20K. Now I need to get to 30. And then you'll hit 30 and you'll be like, okay, cool, let's make it 50. And 50 will come and you'll be like, great, now we need to make it 100. Like, let's go. The number is always going to change. So you'll hit that six figures and instantly you're going to be like, cool, now we need to make, instead of 10K months, we need 20, then 50. It's going to consistently grow, which it should. I want you to keep raising that bar and pushing and stretching your goals, which is why you cannot let the number be the thing, because it's never going to satisfy you. It has to be the feeling you have because of that, right? Embodying that feeling now is what's going to get you there. So I mentioned to you that you need both of these pieces, right? So this is an easy analogy for you to think of. So all of the mindset stuff, the neurohacking, the I ams, the meditation, all of those things, the nervous system regulation, that's the stuff that gives you the fuel, right? Your purpose, your why, your belief. That is your fuel for the engine. But you can have the prettiest car in the entire world and have, free gas for life. If you don't have an actual working engine in that vehicle, it's not going anywhere. You need both. So the neurohacking stuff is your fuel, but you need the systems and actual marketing strategy to have an engine. You have to have both or you're not going to get there. So here's what can happen when you get these pieces dialed in. When you've got your mindset and your marketing, everything's on point. Everything is working together for the same common goal. You end up with big results. You end up with a six-figure year or more, right? Your content is easily attracting the right people. You're making sales like effortlessly. You don't have to keep chasing a number. Content creation becomes easy because it's coming from a really aligned place and you can just talk about it like nonstop. You're not forcing it like, oh my God, what do I say? What am I supposed to do? What kind of content should I create? You hit your goals like steadily. So when those things are working, you come up with aligned offers. You're not just throwing offers and spaghetti at the wall, hoping that somebody will want what you have to buy to sell, right? We have offers that are so aligned with us and our purpose and our why and our dharma, and aligned with our audience and what they need and who we've been called to serve, right? We have aligned offers when those two pieces are working together. And really, I think we're starting to see this. I posted about it last week. If you saw the cute post with my daughter when she was like 2 eating mac and cheese, and she's like, has the most heavenly face on, like it's the best thing she's ever tasted. That's the kind of content that will win in 2025, right? You'll hear this term comfort content being thrown out there. It's what industry people are saying is the trend moving into this year, that's what people are craving, which is great, right? They don't want polished and perfection and this idealistic fake view of these lives that really aren't attainable or even necessarily real. Gone are the days of us being impressed by people renting out fake big mansions and like, come on, we are over it. We can see right through it. What we want now is real. We want authentic. We want comfort. We want to feel like we're sitting on the couch with our friends, having a deep conversation or laughing and relating, having a human connection. That's the kind of content that's going to win this year. So it's not about chasing virality or chasing trends or memes or trending audios. It's not about that. It's about being authentic, showing up with content that's very specific for a specific target audience and offers that get specific results for that audience. That is the stuff that will get it done this year. When everything's in that alignment, when you've got your neurohacking dialed in, you've got your marketing dialed in, growth happens effortlessly, right? This is I think this is 2020. No, this is 22. So it was even less than that in 2020. But you can see significant growth. We get results like this where people are getting engagement that they've never seen before, right? Major results. Content becomes so easy to create. Sales become so easy that they come in effortlessly. And your emails are blowing up with people buying your offers. That's what we want. We want those little notifications like pinging, right? Oh, another one. Oh, awesome. I love it. I love it. Right? Okay. So next steps. This is another chance for you to take inspired action. I want you to print out your workbook or save it on your phone and get yourself a journal or some fancy pen and paper and start making your I ams a daily habit. You don't have to do this for the rest of your life, but I promise if you do it for a few months until you can retrain your brain to think like this instead of thinking in some limited capacity, you'll see and feel the difference, and others around you will notice it too. Something's different. Something is different. I want you to go through that workbook, spend some time identifying what your limiting beliefs are, and rewrite them. Rewrite the story. Find evidence that what you're calling a failure is actually a benefit or a success. Right? If you believe that you're too old to be doing this, great. Change that into, I have a really cool opportunity to share experience with people that other people don't have because of my time here. I come with more experience and more authority because of that. And I want you to really start thinking about what your dream life could look like, but more importantly, what it feels like. What does it feel like in your body? What is that feeling that you're really chasing? It's not the number. It's not the number of followers. It's not the number of, money in your bank account. It's the feeling that you're actually chasing. So what is that? What are you actually chasing? Okay. So all of that stuff is where the Six Figure Social Society is going this year. So if that's something you're on board with and you know that you need to be surrounded by a community of people who are all in with, rewiring their brains for success, getting their bodies and their minds ready to accept wealth and receive it, coming up with aligned offers so that you are the go-to person for your specific industry, then you are welcome inside our community. That is what we do here. So there's plenty of, we're giving you so much in terms of neurohacking resources this year. And I'm so excited to be able to share those to you with you soon. But along with that, you're getting the strategy, you're getting the marketing stuff. So weekly reel prompts that tell you, post this, use these hooks with specific industries broken down. We do trending audio so that you don't have to go searching for them every week. There's a library and it's updated every single Monday. We have monthly group coaching calls to get your questions answered. We bring in guest experts that share on their specific industry and topics that their authorities in. You get all of that CEO mindset and neuro hacking stuff that you're going to need in order to step into that version of yourself that is the six-figure CEO. You have opportunities to network with a community of women, mostly women. I think we have maybe a few guys, but it's 99% women around the globe to network with for your own business. And you guys, if you do nothing else with the six-figure social community, please network with one another. There are so many amazing, amazing women as part of this community that do things that are just like the coolest ever. Reach out to them. Find a way you can collaborate. Find a way you can be accountability partners or support one another or cheer each other on. That's what this is for. And that is where this gets to be really fun. That's why we're here, right? Hold on, somebody's popping in. Okay. Plus, as a part of Six Figure Social, you get 30% off any workshop I do throughout the year. VIPs get everything free, but regular social members get 30% off everything. Becky's asking if I teach Flowdesk. Yes, ma'am. Oh, somebody's not muted. Yes, I teach Flowdesk. I'm obsessed with Flowdesk. I've used it for years for my email marketing software. I do teach it. All my VIPs, I usually go in their back end and help them set up their Flowdesk automations and workflows. As part of Insta Income, that's my course that teaches you how to create and market your own digital products. There's a whole module in there that teaches you exactly how to set up Flowdesk, and how to connect it and all the things. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Flowdesk. I just think their templates are far superior to other marketing softwares or email marketing softwares. Okay, so here's the cool stuff. And please, if you like, this is no pressure. I really just want to share the tools and things with you that I know you're missing.
You're not worried about typing it, you would rather just.
Oh.
All be typed shorter.
Let's see if we can, somebody's not muted. I don't know who that is, but we'll figure it out. So the price for Six Figure Social, it's a monthly community. You can hop in and out anytime. Right now, it's $27 per month. It is going up after this call to $47, but you guys all have the opportunity to get it for $27 a month. If you're one of my VIP people, you're already in. Like that is included with the price of admission. But for anyone else who wants to join the society, it is $27 a month for you, just for being here with me today. And if you feel like you need that extra step of like accountability, support, like you want my eyes on your content, on your business, helping you figure out like why you're stuck, then VIP is the place to be. Right now, the prices just went up to $197. But I'm giving you guys all a chance to get in for less than that. If you want to join, it's a monthly commitment. You can hop out anytime. There's no, cancel anytime is totally fine for $147. So if that's something you want to be a part of, just message me, and I'll send you the link. I'll send the links to when I send out the replay to this call. So you'll have access to all of that as well. I'm going to stop my share, or actually I'm going to stop my share for a second because I want to be able to answer questions. And then if anybody wants to stick around, I'm happy to give you more info and details about the social media management thing that's about to drop. All right, here we go. Maybe stop share. Perfect. Awesome. There's your faces. Okay, so I know I just threw a lot of stuff at you. Probably some of it was like a little weird, a little new, maybe it's not new. Um, but I know it can be a lot. So what questions do you have for me? What can I explain in greater detail? If you want me to look at something of your specific business, I'm happy to do that. I just want to be here to support you however I can, if anyone has questions. Yes, questions. It's all good. It's all good.
I have something.
Yeah, let's go,
Only
Paula.
that where I was the last time.
Okay.
I'm having serious fear of putting myself out there. Like it's bad. And it's like I can't figure out what my first post should be. I recorded a bunch of stuff while over the last month, and I had technical issues with my camera, the phone going in slow-mo and whatever. Then I was on the wrong mode and I had too much definition. I look like you could see every pore in my skin. I figured that out. It's like, okay, but then I'm like, I don't really love how I'm not in love with the way I'm being on camera. Even it feels down. And I think that's because maybe I have been like down. So I'm like, no one's going to watch this. The energy's off, the energy's just not there. And I'm like, how can I create content where I'm not really, do I have to be in it all the time? Can I minimize myself? I saw your video in Times Square where it was just someone shot it and it was just your family. And it was just really beautiful in Times Square. That was it. I think you said there was some copy, but I don't remember. It was just a nice, fun vibe. It was a vibe.
The vibe. I know you love
And,
it.
and I'm like, the vibe, I just need a vibe and I need to just say something simple. And I'm really, really like having a serious, like I have to get off this because I haven't started. I have all the equipment. I have everything I need, including the fact that I'm a creative person. I don't have posts that I like. I did all this work on ChatGPT to do a whole calendar of content. And I'm like, this is not, doesn't feel original. It feels no one's going to watch it. And I have this thing like I want to start right. I want to start off on the right foot. And I have not, that's where I'm at with that. And what you're saying about who you're being, I'm working on that. That's what I've been doing over the break, is working on reprogramming myself. I listen to affirmations. I'm doing Joe Vitale, like 5 million things. I'm really working on all the stuff that you talked about already to try to get all the limiting beliefs sort of rewritten. But at the end of the day, I need to really get things going. And I haven't done my link tree. I haven't started a store. Everything feels overwhelming. Like I have this giant ideas and I can't figure out where to actually start. And I don't want to start selling. I want to start just
Yes.
reading messaging that people that's authentic but I can't let myself decide what am I going to start with. Nothing's good enough. Like
Okay.
nothing's right.
Well, let's start there. So that was a lot. There's a lot going on there. But all of it is fixable. All of it. None of what you said is like, oh yeah, Paula, you should probably like this may not work. Like nothing that you just said is unusual or unique. I've been in those situations. We all have. Everybody goes through that. And honestly, I think everyone starts there, right?
Oh, okay.
September 16th, 2022 was the day I made my very first reel. I'm not saying I hadn't shown up on social media before that because I had, but I had never made a reel. I didn't know what a trending audio was, didn't know how to do transitions. I knew none of those things. And I was like, look, I know that my business is not going to grow if I don't start showing up. So I'm just going to do it. We were at a music festival. My husband had gone to go watch a bunch of shows. I was like, I'm staying in this hotel room and I'm going to sit here until I figure it out. And I did. And the whole time I was doing it, I was like, this is so dumb. Like, this is so cringe. This is so embarrassing. Like, I can't believe I'm about to post this. Like, what am I doing? This is so silly. This is so dumb. And
Yeah.
when I first started doing it, I was thinking like, I don't even like, do I talk about this? Do I talk about that? Like, do I just talk about it? Like, I didn't know what I was talking about. And for a while, I was kind of tiptoeing on like different things until I realized, okay, I do need to hone it in. I need one specific audience. I need one specific message that I want to be known for. Right. And then I just decided that there was no turning back. I
Mm.
just decided, but trust me, Paula, when I say I am fully aware that I've been the subject of many a group chat thread. I am very aware that I've been the subject of eye rolls and comments and like, oh my God, do you see what she's doing? And like, oh, that's so cringe. Like what I know I have. Do I care? No, I don't. Would I have cared 5 years ago? Maybe. Probably. When I was younger, would I have cared? Oh yeah, I really would have cared. And it probably would have stopped me in my tracks. But I don't care what anyone else's opinions or views about me are. As long as I know who I am, I know like the only opinion that matters to me is what God thinks about me and what my family thinks about me. Nothing else matters. So if they're going to make fun of me, great, let them, right? Grab yourself a copy of Mel Robbins' book and let them. Seriously, let them. What's the worst that can happen? That somebody's like, oh my gosh, did you see Paula's thing? And then they share it with their friend so that the friend can see it. Guess what they just did? They just boosted your content in the algorithm and actually did you a favor. So thanks. Like, you can't worry about the trolls. It's actually one, I always tell people when you get your first little nasty comment or rude person showing up in your feed, celebrate it. Celebrate it because it means you're getting more people to see your content and it's a rite of passage. And if we're honest, every person that is taking time out of their day, their wonderfully awesome, successful day to sit down and leave some nasty comment on someone else's social media, their life must be tragic. Like, let's be honest. Like your life is so great that you took time to like comment, like, come on, right? We know what's going on. So start messy. It does not have to be perfect and curated. And really, that's not the goal anyway. That kind of content is not the vibe. Unless you are a luxury brand and like we're doing content for a business that is a luxury brand or something, then yeah, that's a different conversation. But if this is a personal brand and my goal is really to serve people, I cannot serve anyone if I don't show up. Some of my, if you go to my feed, the 3 pinned post at the top of my page, the very first one has a typo right on the cover, and I'm not going to change it. Well, I don't care. Like why? It's from like a year and a half ago. It still brings in followers. It still gets comments. Out of the thousands of people that have seen it and commented on it, one person mentioned the typo. And I was like, yeah, cool, great, thanks, don't care. Moving on. It's really not important. I'm not a spelling coach. If I was a spelling coach, now we'd have a problem. It's about showing up and being willing to show up even when you're scared.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things too. It's like when you said it's not the vibe, it's not, I'm down, it's not the right energy and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I want you to pay attention to that, and kudos for you even being aware of like your own energy and kind of how it's translating into content. But there's also beauty in sharing that story, that sometimes the vibe is just the vibe and it is what it is. And maybe it's low today. And maybe me sharing that and being vulnerable and talking about like, look, here's what I'm struggling with. And, my energy has been really, really low right now. And I'm working through it. And maybe you've been there too. And now maybe one person saw that and we made a connection.
Hmm.
And that's the whole point of social media in the first place.
Okay. Well, the one thing that I'm working with is energy. So, but it applies to like almost everything. So, I guess I'm trying to figure out what is the first, like, how do I introduce myself, in a first post? I know I've brought it up before, but I'm like, do I need to do like the introduction post? Have it be like a little bit about who I am and then, some message.
You can, it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
I think probably over the course of the last 2 years, at some point or other, I've done sort of introduction post, but I
Okay.
definitely didn't start there.
Okay.
Like you can go a whole year before you do an introduction post and or you can reintroduce yourself at any point and go, hey, this is me now. This is me 2025 version.
Okay.
Like that's the beauty of this too. Like I feel like we put so much pressure on social media and so much pressure on our content that it is like written in blood.
Yeah, that's true.
Not like just because I talk about this offer today doesn't mean I have to do that for the rest of my life. Remember, like when I started social media, if you really dive deep on my page and go all the way to the bottom, I had a Pilates studio. It's
Oh, wow.
all Pilates content, all of it. But it didn't mean that I had to like, now I can only talk about Pilates because that's what I started with. No,
Okay.
right? So you get to evolve, you get to pivot, you can change your bio at any time. Like, don't put so much pressure on yourself or on social media. Like
Okay.
it's not that deep, Paula. It's
And
just not that deep.
TikTok's, you think it's staying or what's the deal with that?
I mean, I think it's not going to go away as quickly as people assume that it will. I think it's going to get tied up and tied up and tied up if that's the issue or that's the process we go forward with. My feeling is if there's even a conversation about that, why would we waste our time like diving deep into TikTok at this point?
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't. If you don't already have a large audience over there,
The audience. I'm
I
just thinking about.
I find zero benefit at this
Oh,
point of like going there.
okay. What
Just-
about like YouTube and LinkedIn and
I think,
Instagram?
yeah, YouTube 100%. LinkedIn, yes, for not for everybody. I don't think everybody needs to be on LinkedIn. Certain people do.
Right.
But my rule of thumb and my advice is always going to be when you're starting out, you're going to get further faster if you pick one platform to get really good at, monetize it, get good at it, understand it, how to use it, like get really good at one.
Okay.
And then you can add others.
Okay.
Same thing with offers. Like get one offer selling and making you money, building your audience before we start throwing in all these other things, right? Like pick one thing, focus your attention and your energy on it until it works. You know that water game at the fair? It's like a water gun and you have to shoot the bullseye and it's like there's like 5 people lined up. Whoever's thing hits the bell first wins the teddy bear. If you're not holding the water like straight the whole time on the bullseye, they're going to win. They're going to get there faster. If you move it at all, it doesn't work. You have to hold it the entire time and all the energy has to go on that bullseye. Same thing with your offers and your content.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Here.
Let's see. Debbie said, I just had the same convo with Brian yesterday. Yep. But it's just shows you that like, you're not alone. Like we all go through this. I have the business I have today in spite of the fact that I have failed so many times before. So many. Girl, do you know how many times I tried to I was like, I'm going to be the MLM queen, whatever this thing is. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like her. I'm going to get the free car and it's going to be awesome. And then I was like, it's not awesome. This is awful. I failed every time. Every time. I've done plenty of things that have bombed, but I didn't stop showing up because of it. Right? No one is an overnight success. Yes, people can go viral overnight and grow overnight, but it doesn't mean they have depth. It doesn't mean they have buyers. It doesn't mean they even have email addresses. Doesn't mean they have a business. That's luck more than anything. And if you need proof of that, there's this really cool account. I'll see if I can try to find the name of it, where this just shows you guys that yes, there's strategy. Yes, it matters. Yes, we want strong hooks. There's ways we can get more views. There's ways we can hold people's attention. But at the end of the day, there is an element of we're on a computerized platform machine, right? That kind of decides and predicts stuff that we don't have control over. There's an account that shares the same reel, same hook, same message, same audio, same content over and over and over and over again on different days. Sometimes it goes mega viral. Sometimes it gets 1,000 views. It's the same content. So if we're getting completely hung up on numbers, we've already lost. If you're going to focus on a number, focus on the number of conversations you're having with people on social media. Real life interaction conversations. Focus on the number of emails you've added to your email list. That number actually matters. The rest of it genuinely doesn't matter. There are women, people whose classes I have taken, who have way less followers than me and are making way more money than I am. Insane. Following doesn't matter as much as we want to believe it does. What matters is showing up and serving a need.
Brianne, can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to leave at 1:30 because I'm gonna go get my teeth cleaned. But Paula, oh my gosh. So all the things that she said, okay, she just did a whole entire, I saw 5-10 reels and all that she had to say, and I would totally binge watch because she is sharing herself and her fears and what's getting her from point A to point B, but she's not at point B yet. But I'm just listening, I'm identifying, that's good stuff. If you are brave enough to come here with all of us, just pretend that you're in one of Brianne's workshops when you're filming your reels and you're going to be just fine. And I have 50 million other questions for 2025, but I'll save it for my one-on-one.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Yeah, I mean, that's also the beauty of having a community of other women and other entrepreneurs around you, is that we can post something and instantly go to the community or instantly go to the group chat and be like, y'all, I'm shaking in my boots. What I posted was really vulnerable. Can you all just go watch it and give me some love? Yes. Do you know how many conversations I have on a day-to-day basis in DMs and my friends that text me hey, will you go look at that reel? What do you think? Is that okay? Should I do this? Can you just go comment? Will you have somebody share it? I'm like, yes, happy to. That's what we do here. If you're under the impression that there is gatekeeping or that I have some secret formula that I'm not going to share with you, you could not be further from the truth. Everything that I try, everything that works, everything that doesn't work, I will share it all with you. Every good, bad, ugly, and in between, because gatekeeping for me personally is the ickiest quality somebody can have. I think it's despicable to be a gatekeeper. So I will never be a gatekeeper for you, I promise. I promise. Paula says, is there a community for this group in Facebook? I may need to wrangle some support. So there's not a Facebook community in Six Figure Social. It is a community inside Stan. So we have, I can actually show it to you. Why not? So our Stan community, where is it? There it is. So the Stan community looks like this. So it's got all the peoples in it. You can go here, you can go to your, well, I'll go to resources. So resources, you've got all these training videos on hashtags, and all the coaching call replays are in there. Guest experts, all that stuff is in there. You've got your neurohacking stuff, you've got your audio vault, and then every week I release real prompts for you. So it's all in here. You get a download, and it's like any niche, you get all these little, you know, hooks and things that you can use to kind of give you ideas of where to start for your content. So you're not always having to come up with, like, from scratch, what the heck do I post, right? We shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. But that's where our community is. Six Figure Social. Yeah. Awesome. Anyone else have questions? No, yes, maybe. You all are free. Like, I want to be mindful and respectful of your time. I did promise a few people that I would share the social media management thing that's coming. If anyone wants to stick around and hang out and ask questions about that, I'm happy to answer. Yeah. Where do we join? Delane, I will send out a link with the replay. So you'll have a link to it for that $27 price. Yeah, we'd love to have you. It's great. It's awesome. And we just had it's been over a year now. It's crazy. It's so exciting. Okay, so let me just share this with you guys real quick. And if you want to hop off, you're welcome to. If you want to stick around, stick around. Either way, you know I love you. Okay. So where is my Canva? Okay, that's not it. Okay. Ba-ba-dum. Okay. So honestly, this is like a beta situation right now. So even the title is kind of a work in progress. And usually when I get closer to actual launch, I reach out to you guys and I'm like, okay, here's the top three. I'm going to let you vote on what we call this new baby. So it's either social startup or the social business builder. But basically the goal with this thing that's launching in February is to help women who, here's the need. Okay. All these people last year started these MRR programs or these affiliate marketing programs, and they bought all these courses that they were going to resell. And about 90% of them were like, oh, wait a minute. I haven't actually sold any of these. Like, nobody's buying it. What do I do? So that's a bummer. However, in the process of like trying to sell those things, they also got better and better at creating their own content. They got better and better at understanding Instagram. They got better and better at like being vulnerable enough to show up and courageous enough to show up. So rather than calling, you know, this opportunity with MRR or whatnot a failure, taking the skills that we learned from that, or you learn, I didn't do it, but anyone learned from that, and turning it into a win. That's what we're trying to do with this. I want to help the people that kind of feel like they got stuck or, I don't want to say scammed, but a little with the MRR craze, and turn it into something that can actually bring in the money. This is really great for creating like what I would call MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. That's the only MRR situation I have any interest in, is money that comes in on a monthly basis. So my goal is to help people start their own freelance social media marketing business so that they can take the skills that they've learned. I'm going to show them how to get their own clients, what to charge, contracts, how to deliver the content. We've got some really cool delivery systems that are customizable, so you can have them for each client. You can deliver them to clients that way. I'm giving you all of my templates, my client onboarding stuff. All of those documents and templates are coming to you. So you basically have kind of like a business in a box. You'll have networking and job opportunities and postings, you know, like, hey, this person's looking for social media, you know, editor or strategist or content. So that hopefully we can help support you in finding clients, keeping clients, and making significant money. And there will be parameters here so that you make real money and real fast, right? What I don't want is for people to take this and then go start doing people's social media for free and not make, like, we're not doing that. This is a business that we're starting. So I'm going to help support you in being courageous enough and brave enough to not underprice yourself, right? We're not going to do that. So how to come up with a strategy for a client, what type of clients you should be going for when you're first starting out, how to get and create really good content for them, what to do, what not to do, how to set boundaries, how to make sure your scope doesn't start growing week to week with your clients. All your legal documents will be, you know, made available to you. So this eventually is going to be a bigger ticket price or a bigger ticket offer. When we go into beta, it's going to be $22.22. But anybody that wants to get in before that, we'll give you basically 50% off. So you can save your spot in that. It's not starting till February. You won't get anything until then. But that is what that program is going to look like. So any questions you guys have about that, feel free to email me. You can ask them now. I'm happy to answer too. But that is on the horizon, which is cool and fun. Yeah. Any other questions before we hop off? Do you have your marching orders? Do you feel confident about your homework and what you're going to go do? You're going to print out your workbook. You're going to start your IAMs. And I would love it, love it, love it if you guys would take a picture of your IAMs, even if you want to cover it up. Like, you don't have to share with the world what's on it. But I would love to be able to support you and cheer you on and pray for you as you kind of grow and reach your goals this year. That's my.
One question before we go, Brian, for the one-on-one, is it now in the new community?
So the link, I have to find a place to put it there for you. So I can send it to you in DMs. I'll send you.
Oh, can you? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I can book for the new year. Thank you.
You're welcome. This was fun. I hope that I didn't overwhelm you with too much information. And I hope even if you got one thing from this, then I'm happy, right? That's my goal, is for you to just have something to take away with you. And if nothing else, honestly, I want that one thing to be, stop asking, what do I need to do? And start asking, who do I need to be? Yeah. Who do I need to be? Awesome. You guys know where to find me. I'm always happy to answer questions in DMs or via email. I do my best to stay on top of it. Be patient with me. If I miss you, shoot me another one if it's been a minute. But I will share the recording, Chrissy. I will send it. It'll probably go out tomorrow once this finishes like uploading and everything. I will share it with all the links and all that for you guys. And yeah, know that I'm rooting for you and I'm here for you. However I can support you on your journey, and let's make this the best year yet. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Bye guys. Have a great rest of your day.